Happy new moon in Scorpio. This is Ellie Prana here, and I love using astrology as a tool for us to understand our lives, what's going on collectively as well as our individual lives. So once the yogis said, as above, so below. What this means is that there's the outer space, universe, the macrocosmos, and there's the inner cosmos, which is the microcosmos. So everything that happens, or all the system in our universe, or the law of nature, exists within us all exactly the same way. So everything that goes on out there has an impact on our microcosmos, which is our body. There's the communication out there between the stars that we're listening to, and then there's also the communication of the stars out there too, within a communication from the universe to our microcosmos here. And astrology is really understanding what that communication is and how it's affecting our lives. So this new moon happened in sign of Scorpio. And new moon sets the tone for the next 28-day cycle. So Scorpios are connected with transformation. Simply said, it's all about transformation. Since the Jupiter entered the sign of Scorpio the 10th, I believe, of October. So we've been in this for about a month, and you might have started to experience some intensity, something changing in your relationship, especially some like you're facing your own shit kind of period. Because Scorpios are connected with the taboos, what we don't usually talk about. It's the unseen, less tangible world. It's not connected to material world. Like, it's about life and death, transformation. It's about initiations, sex, power, things like that. And so, since the Jupiter entered the sign of Scorpio, because Jupiter's going to be there for a year, this is sort of an ongoing topic for us to be facing for the next year, collectively. And especially if you have planets in Scorpio or, 8th house, you may be affected quite powerfully. But this is our collective journey of going in, digging shit up, bringing up the surface, shining the light so that it can be liberated. And this is a Scorpio. Now, what's interesting about this new moon is that, because in the US where I am, the new moon happened early this morning on the 18th on Saturday. So the moon has already moved on to the sign of Sagittarius. So unlike the last 28 days, which was somewhat watery, lots of emotions, lots of kind of tricky circumstance, or some intensity, or maybe even hurt experiences, this next 28 days are going to have a little bit more fire energy. So now the moon is in Sagittarius for the next couple days, and Mercury has been in there, and Saturn, who has been in Sagittarius for the past 3 years. Now this is really important. He is doing his last about a month or so of his stay in Sagittarius. So what this means, so Saturn is a wise teacher, old teacher who comes around to make sure you're doing the homework, right? He's the one that gives us guidance. He's the one that kind of brings structure to our life, responsibilities. And he has been in the sign of Sagittarius, which is connected with truth, with honesty and faith. So For the past 3 years, I'm sure a lot of you have been experiencing somewhat of having to let go of a lot of things that you thought was working, or you thought you really loved, or you all that's coming to a realization of, wow, this does not serve me anymore. This is not my truth. So for the past 3 years, we've been kind of cleaning up our lives, so to speak, in our relationship, or maybe it's the job situation, or maybe where you live, or an environment. Whatever it is that surrounds your life, we have been questioned. Are you in your truth? Are your action in alignment with your values? Where is your integrity? And this 3-year cycle is coming to an end. And I always notice that the beginning and the end are the most intense, because when things shift, that's really intense. And then you kind of, not that you get used to hurt, but you kind of start to get the ride. It's like, oh, okay, this is what's happening to my life. Then there's always an end to a cycle too, right? So Saturn, which is a big planet, which moves really slowly, and it gives us 3 years to really work this theme out. And he's coming to an end. He's preparing to move into the sign of Capricorn, which is an earth sign, completely different energy. It's very materialistic. It's more about like slow steps and achievements, and really bringing all of your work, integrating the past 3 years of your work into fruition, into actualization, right? So we're on this like last 1 month or less of this energy that we're really, really being called to face your truth, find your truth, and bring your life in alignment with that truth. So some of you may be experiencing some last minute intense shedding or releasing of something important or something that means a lot to you. And I've also experienced one myself recently, and I just like to really remind myself and you that transformation is an opportunity. It's not going to be a comfortable process, because transformation, especially in the sign of Scorpio, is about bringing things that are unseen to be seen. Things that you currently don't acknowledge, that needs to be acknowledged. That needs to be let go. So when I think of transformation, it's always the butterfly comes to my mind. The beautiful butterfly, starting out in a little caterpillar form, goes into cocoon, and you know what happens inside? He becomes complete liquid. He has to completely let go of his old form to become nothing, so he can rebirth himself as this beautiful butterfly. So, imagine how uncomfortable that might be, to completely be vulnerable and be naked. And this is what transformation is finding the truth and beauty and strength coming out of that vulnerability. So it's not always easy to let go of the things that you love or things that you're used to, but know that everything is a process. Trust, have faith in this divine plan, and the space you created will be filled again. Transformation is an opportunity for us to birth a greater version of ourselves. And when that happens, there's going to be things that will not catch up with your transformation. That you can't keep everything as the same, everything comfortable, because you are transforming, you are upgrading. So I'm wishing you at this time an easeful and graceful time of transformation, that you will have the easier time allowing yourself to receive and just witness this, a personal experience called life, because the universe works in our favor. We're always loved and protected. So happy new moon to you all, and I'm wishing you a wonderful start of this 28-day cycle. Namaste.